little while ago, I reviewed the Star Wars Holiday Special. Stick with me, this is relevant. The person who chose this film, good friend and Tetris rival Townysend, initially chose the Star Wars Holiday Special for his selection, but when I pointed out that this wasn't a movie, he chose The Fountain instead, ominously saying, "I'll have a lot to say about it." The trailer seemed to raise further questions if anything, and once again this is a film I haven't seen before. With a cast starring Hugh Jackman and Weisz, this could be really good. But then I asked myself, why haven't I heard of this film from 2006? Let's dive right in. Here's my review of The Fountain. A conquistador leads two other soldiers to explore a Mayan temple. He survives a trap whilst the others don't, and faces off against the Mayan tribe leader, but is killed by his flaming sword. In the modern day, Dr. Tommy Creo is researching how to cure brain tumours in animal patients in order to save his wife Izzy. His dedication to his work means he's spending all his time trying to cure her and not enough time with her. As she gets progressively more ill, she passes him her book, a story called The Fountain, which she wants him to finish after she's gone. Tommy refuses to accept this and works harder, even making progress, but it's not enough, and just as the breakthrough is reached, Izzy dies in hospital. Back in the past, a flashback shows that the conquistador Captain Thomas has been tasked with finding the famed Tree of Life from the Garden of Eden in order to save the Queen of Spain, Isabel. Should they drink the sap of the tree, they will become immortal and Isabel will marry the captain. Thomas's soldiers think that they are lost and attempt a mutiny, with Thomas killing all but two of them, the two that accompanied him at the temple. Meanwhile, on a floating island in a bubble heading towards a dying nebula known as Xibalba, Tom is tending to a tree and sampling parts of its bark in order to keep living forever. He reminisces over his life as Tommy and Thomas as the tree starts to die. Tom manages to bring the island to the heart of the nebula and transport himself back to where the Mayan chief kills Thomas, startling the chief who sacrifices himself so that a now healed Thomas can find the Tree of Life. Thomas samples the sap but is then engulfed by the flowers below him, becoming part of the tree itself. In the modern day, Tommy buries Izzy and as part of her dying wish, he plants a seed above her coffin so that a new tree may grow. After watching The Fountain, three films came to mind: Nocturnal Animals, Donnie Darko, and Mother. Nocturnal Animals because I had the same reaction to the credits of The Fountain that I did for that film. Indeed, I called up Townysend during the end credits and eloquently asked, "What the f*** did I just watch?" The Fountain, I was told, is open to interpretation, and you'd best believe I have some interpretations and theories, but let's not jump ahead. For the Donnie Darko comparison, as well as once again sneaking into a film review of mine, it also reminded me when I first watched it and had no idea what to make of it. My second viewing I took notes and it made sense. Mostly. I feel The Fountain is one that if I were to watch it again it would make more sense, but if the first viewing didn't exactly hook me, what's my motivation to watch it again just to make sense of it? The third comparison is Mother, which is a lot more straightforward. They're both Darren Aronofsky films, and the themes of death, life and rebirth show in both, as well as being overly complicated in their metaphors and not immediately obvious what the film is about. Aronofsky certainly has a style which includes extreme close-ups of actors' faces, which work well for people like Hugh Jackman and Rachel Weisz, but not so much for me. Speaking of the lead actors, they do a good job in really making you feel for the characters, and they have good chemistry together. Jackman is the obvious lead and as always is brilliant. Weisz too plays a great supporting role and if anything, shows more versatility. In the modern day, she is sickly and weak but wanting to make sure she's telling Tommy what to do when she's gone. She's accepted her fate. In the past, she's a strong leader who, in desperation to see her country survive, offers her hand in marriage if the conquistador captain is successful in his mission. The rest of the roles are filler at best. This is a two-person film. I couldn't even name one of the other characters. Story-wise, it cuts between three areas, which I will now call the past, modern day, and Xibalba. The past sees Captain Thomas lead a team of conquistadors to find the Tree of Life, the mythical tree that should someone drink the sap, they will become immortal. He does this for Queen Isabel of Spain. Thomas ends up drinking the suspiciously coloured sap and dies, but becomes part of the flowers and plants around him. In the modern time, Dr. Tommy is trying to find a cure for Izzy's brain tumour. He struggles to accept her fate and puts so much effort into curing her that he misses her last moments. In Xibalba, Tom is travelling towards the heart of the dying nebula to try and, I don't know, resurrect her? I certainly hope not, given how much I hate that trope. Tom seems to be able to bring up flashbacks from other periods and even change the past somehow. Or at least he does if you look at the film literally. Is this film a straightforward story of two people who've become immortal, being in love for hundreds of years before Izzy dies? Tom survives her and transcends reality in the distant future. I don't think that's what the film's going for. And if you expect this from what the trailer suggests is a centuries-old love story, then I think you'll be disappointed. To me, this is a story set in one time period, the modern times. The past is simply the contents of Izzy's story called The Fountain, whereas Xibalba is Tommy going through grief. This would explain why the main self-insert characters don't have Spanish accents where others do, but it doesn't explain why Isabel has an English accent to Thomas's American. Without a second viewing, were there 5 sections in Xibalba throughout the film, each one a different stage of grief, or am I plucking theories out the air? I mean, why not both? The point is, the open to interpretation nature of the film can either be seen as brilliant auteur-ism or overly pretentious, and I'm in the latter camp. It didn't impress me and it just left me feeling frustrated. The film is presented well with a gorgeous soundtrack and some fantastical visuals, although at times the Xibalba sections remind me of those old Guinness adverts. The next big question is, what genre is this film? I genuinely can't put my finger on it, which also makes the film hard to recommend. IMDb classifies this as the following genres: epic, psychological drama, sci-fi epic, tragedy, tragic romance, drama, mystery, romance, sci-fi. What other film fits into so many different diverse genres? It makes the film seem like it doesn't fit, which might be why I hadn't heard of it and why it was so unsuccessful at the box office, making only $16 million from its $35 million budget. Interestingly, it looked like it was supposed to have a budget of $70 million and star Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett, but it was shut down, rewritten and recast at its lower budget. Honestly, it shows. It feels like there's some context missing. Even Disney Plus don't seem to care about it. In an Easter egg pointed out to me by Townysend, he really loves this film, the subtitle spoken by the Maya chief simply says, "Speaks Mayan," which is not the case in other releases. Does this mean that what he says is open to interpretation too? I like to think he recognised Tom floating in the golden light and decided to show him his cool neck tattoo before Thomas misunderstands and slits his throat. That's how I choose to interpret this scene, and you can't change my mind on that. The Fountain is a weird film that I struggle to recommend. It's pretentious and complicated for what should be a straightforward story. The Xibalba sections bring the film down in my opinion, and had the other two areas been fleshed out, this would have been a much more simple terminal romance story like The Notebook, another film I didn't like but other people seem to. By adding sci-fi elements, the film becomes a confusing mess which I just can't see myself going back to. The Fountain didn't whet my appetite, and I don't think it will live forever in my mind. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, please give this video a like and share it on social media. Maybe leave a comment below about what you thought of this video. And if you'd like to see more, please subscribe for more content. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can buy merchandise at bradleyj.tmail.com, where you can buy t-shirts, tote bags and more. Or you can become a Patreon at www.patreon.com/BradleyJVoices for just £1 a month. Coming up next for the Film Review Open Challenge is Jurassic World. For now though, thank you very much for watching.